Phobian Day. On the international front, China records rare protests over zero COVID policy as cases rise. The news is proudly sponsored by Ultimate Classic Gym and Ultimate Bar and Restaurant. I am Vivian Na Ajokolai. And now to our first story. State insurance company SIC will soon roll out the Sisimbo insurance policy for fishers across the country. For some time now, fishers involved in fishing accidents have had to rely on loans to replace or repair damages caused or risks going out of business when they are unable to bear the full cost incurred. In an interview with the head of corporate and special risks at SIC, Emmanuel Sempeni Mensa had indicated that the Sisimbo insurance policy will help reduce the financial burden on fishers as it seeks to compensate them in the event of fishing accidents. Earlier reports on the fishing community in Teshi brought to light the devastating effects of strong tidal waves along the coast of Teshi. Within a week, 2 canoes were involved in an accident. The affected fishers told me they cannot afford the cost involved.
And what you were, but I what you were, what you were, na bago. She what you were, one papon, ni umponaka show na buye, giddy few. But I can meet black on your black on nearly tam or ben black touch on the enemy, a part when she won't buy black. She very when I york giddy or William go film when you go now famine. Koni amekuliki we blaga nuwa ba be washi me kumi o be me ni wa washi ka washi amini afti o be san wo dola koni waka afiti aminugo wala ijomu no amile go ba na amile ya shawo wo mi 1 2 3 no na no wa matem wa gbini won febru wa fe ni wo fe mi wo tie lele te no o fe an o fe kwa woni an ka shi be ni lele fe mi balance le balance ni kende e put up woni bi 50 ona binini ole wo ni gba na wa akashi no ko na be fi amba fi na mi awo e disturb wo ni wo we be da wo fi face the bi am yale na kanu wo kun agite beje nkun mi ni baba o te beje nkun wo no ko fite te ne beje nkun wo no ko fite wo ni bi fi ba mo pepepe na gba ko kwa gba wo na kanu mi wo to ni en egboku do bedi so bedi ba na ka me ke egbla me ke ba te in shock kushikobene ke le wala le de ka maten agbene ke ba be ne ke le trash in here ke trash ma unde egbe lele toni ehun le hun efitele wo ba to no wo ba gbla wo moshi be sani ya lele kokuru ni abi na ke 300 million ngba ya ko ne ke 300 million eye mi gbo mo okun afo ji mi wule gbo wo ma ya ko 300 million eye iye ko be le ni se ma se je mi.
We found out that they had no insurance policy to fall on. We spoke to the head of corporate and special risks at SIC, Emmanuel Sempeni Mensa, who revealed that SIC is working on a package called the Sisimbo insurance policy, which will address most of the occupational hazards fishers face as they go about doing their work. So what kind of insurance would
we have a special one we call the Sisimbo insurance, very soon to be hitting the market.
Tell us a bit about
the Sisimbo covers all the investments the boat owner has in the canoe itself, in the outboard motor, which they refer to as society. You understand? And then even in the fishermen who join the vessel. One thing you should all bear in mind is that fishermen don't work by boats. Today is in boat A, tomorrow is in boat B. You understand what I'm saying? they are employed as to when the vessel is when the canoe is traveling. So he can tell you that I work for about 10 boat owners. So what we have done is that because it is a liability of the boat owner, we have come up with a policy that so far as we have information on the person on the boat before he leaves and confirmed by the coordinator, you have cover for them.
Okay.
So we are paying for canoe, we are paying for outboard motor, we are paying for the human beings on it. We are not only paying for the, we are not yet paying for the net because we have to streamline and formalize the type of nets that they use.
Now, moving away from the fisher folks or from the fisheries sector, let's go to Parliament. The Minister of Finance, Ken Oforiatta, is expected to appear before the 8-member ad hoc committee of Parliament today. Minority in Parliament had filed a motion for a vote of censure against the minister, making several allegations against him, including conflict of interest, financial recklessness leading to the collapse of the Ghana cedi, and gross mismanagement of the economy. The committee was set up by the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbin, on November 10, and their power is to probe the censure motion against the finance minister. The minister will have to prove to the committee why he should not be censured due to the allegations leveled against him. The committee started working on Tuesday, and during the first hearing on Tuesday, the minority stressed the basis for the censure motion. The legal counsel for the finance minister, Gabri Ochedako, told the committee that his client will be ready with responses today.
You see,
let me just finish
21st June 2022, the minister appeared and gave us evidence that Data Bank benefited 159 million between 2017 to 2021 from bonds issued and from borrowing. And then, Chairman, as I said, National Cathedral, we see a warrant signed by the minister for 142.7 million. We'll tender that in evidence. We'll back it with evidence. Thank you.
Mrs. Chairman, first of all, my apologies for calling you an accuser. Mrs. Chairman, all we are asking for, and if I just, let me just repeat, before we start this proceeding, all we are asking for, in the interest of justice, is that we should be furnished with the full particulars of the facts in support of each of the allegations contained in the letter.
Now we are moving away from Parliament. Let's go to the international scenes. China's COVID restrictions, the most stringent in the world, are causing mounting frustration throughout the country, including a rare public protest in the southern city of Guangzhou. Since the outbreak began 3 years ago, most likely in the Chinese city of Wuhan, China has enforced strict lockdowns, daily testing, and widespread quarantines. The World Health Organization says the stringent restrictions have kept down infections and deaths. China, with a population of 1.5 billion, has reported 9.4 million infections and 29,426 deaths related to COVID this year. The US, in contrast, reported 96 million infections out of a population of 332 million. Nonetheless, infections appear to be on the rise recently, reaching 19,609 new cases on Wednesday, a 6-month high. In October, dozens of cities across China went into strict lockdown. The BBC reported that on October 24, an estimated 28 cities across the country were implementing lockdown protocols affecting over 200 million people. Lockdowns and quarantines differ between regions. In Guangzhou's, in-person schooling and in restaurant dining were shut down in October due to a rise in cases. The continuous lockdowns have led to businesses closing and higher rates of food scarcity as people cannot leave their homes to get groceries and other necessities. Guangzhou's most recent lockdowns have impacted roughly 6 million people. The area of the city where the protest took place on Monday is home to 1.8 million people. Residents have been ordered not to leave their homes. They are also to undergo daily testing and attend school online. The New York Times reported that barricades had been placed around neighborhoods with positive cases. The protest on Monday saw the streets packed with angry demonstrators. Videos on social media showed police cars being tipped over, barricades knocked down, and demonstrators physically clashing with police. On Wednesday, several neighborhoods in Guangzhou were still under stay-at-home order. Officials have yet to say when the order will be lifted. Credit International Business Times. And now to the Ultimate Safety Tips segment.
I'm Precious Destiny Kofi. Today I'm coming your way with who road users are. For instance, somebody who walks on the road, who is she? Somebody who sits on a bike, who is the person? So we have 6 users of the road, even more. We have the horse rider. It's a road user. A cyclist is a road user. A pedestrian is a road user. We have motorists. They are road users. We have the driver. We have the passenger. All these people put together are called road users. Now, road users are supposed to be sharing the space on our roads. No one is more important than the other when using the road. But most times, vehicles are supposed to give priority to pedestrians, because pedestrians are not on any machine at all or any equipment. Pedestrians are those who walk by our roads and the shoulders of our roads. What is the shoulder of the road? The shoulder of the road is the sides of the extreme end of our roads. We have streets, and we have roads, and we have highways. Now, a street that flows with vehicle in, traffic out is called a single carriage road. Any road that has 2 vehicles going on a side, then you have the line, then the other 2 vehicles on the left side are also dual carriages. It is very important for us to know that you don't drive on the shoulders of our roads, because the shoulders of the road carries those who walk alongside the road, and that is where we also have the bus stops where pedestrians come to stand to board vehicle, then become passengers. It is very rude for passengers to shout at the bus conductor. It is also rude for a passenger to shout at a driver, even if he has done anything wrong. Courtesy teaches us that you talk to people in a polite manner. For that reason, as a passenger in a vehicle, when you see a driver is doing anything that is not good, get closer to him and politely ask him to caution or to get caution with what he is doing. For instance, as a passenger, you are already in the bus and you cannot be walking in the bus to talk to the driver. So you can loud your voice a bit just for the driver to hear you. But if it is possible for the conductor to talk to the driver for you, you can still give your message politely to the conductor to give to the driver. It is also not right for a driver to shout at passengers when there is an issue on the bus. For instance, issue of changing somebody's money for them or their balance or whatever we are calling it. Especially when the driver is overspeeding or overtaking another vehicle wrongly. When the passenger talks about it, accept it in good faith and do that correction so you can save lives. National Road Safety says, do not be the devil's workshop and stay alive. God bless you. We'll meet next week.
Being told to stay alive, and on that note we end today's edition of Midday Brief with me, Vivian Na Ajokolai. But before we go, a quick recap of our top stories. SIC Simbo insurance policy for fishers. Finance Minister Ken Oforiatta expected to appear before committee probing censure motion against him today. On the international front, China records rare protest over zero COVID policy as cases rise. The news was proudly sponsored by Ultimate Classic Gym and Ultimate Bar and Restaurant. But before I go, a quick reminder that tonight at 7 p.m. there's something going on at the Ultimate Bar and Restaurant. That is the live band session. Come with your family and let's enjoy some melodious, lovely tunes. I'll be there, so I'll be waiting to see you. From the team here, we say many thanks for joining us. Have a safe weekend.